Okay, so if this is what I think it is, which I think it's what I think it is, since it has a giant Lenovo Legion logo on it, this is gonna be exciting. So I'm just gonna stop yapping and just get right into the unboxing. Yo, so it's actually been a few days since I got this laptop and since I first opened this up, so I've been using it, testing it around, seeing what it's about, really getting the hang of it and fully just getting the full experience of this Lenovo Slim. And let me just say, this has been one of the coolest experiences for a laptop that I've seen. There's so many different reasons why I just feel this laptop is just it. So first, this is the Lenovo Legion Slim 7, and it is definitely pushing the limits to what Intel and Lenovo have been doing. It's a mix of just raw power and astonishing beauty in terms of just its slimness and how skinny this thing is. And I'll explain to you why that's super important and super cool in just a second. But let's talk about the design of this thing. So for one, it has a beautiful matte finish across the entire laptop. It has the Lenovo Legion accents and logos across the laptop in different places. It really fits at the places that they put them, and it just looks super natural. Now, this laptop is super light. It comes in at 4.2 pounds, and it has a lot of different connectivity options, and I mean a lot. So starting from the left side, it has a headphone port. It has a USB-C port along with another USB-C port. Now, overall, it has these really nice looking fans at the back that look super natural, and it just really elevates that look of this laptop. And the ergonomic shape of this is just really nice overall. It's almost aggressive to the point where it looks like a gaming laptop, but also it looks super casual at the same time. So it also has the power connectivity. This is how you charge it, with the HDMI port, along with the USB 3.2 port, along with another USB, along with two more USB 3.2 ports. But the cool thing about the last USB 3.2 port is that it actually stays on at all times. As long as the laptop is charged, you can use it and you can charge whatever you want to charge with it as long as the laptop is fully charged. And then we're coming on to the opposite side. It has a really cool feature. I think this is really underrated and you don't really see often in laptops, is that you can just turn on or off the webcam access in general. I know a lot of people may put those like tapes across the top part of the webcam. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I used to be one of those people. So I think having this feature to just be able to just not give the laptop any access to the webcam, period, just being able to turn it on or off, I think that's super important. And I think that's super cool as well. And then it has a Thunderbolt 4. Now, the all metal feel in this laptop really gives it that premium feeling and just feeling that you're getting a high quality laptop here. And especially when you completely just open this thing up, you get a whole new feel and it just really blows you away almost. We could talk about just the start of everything. The RGB accents across this entire laptop is just completely well done from Intel and Lenovo. They definitely killed it on this, as well as how everything is just set up and designed on this laptop. Everything is intentional, and I mean that. When we're talking about the entire front part speaker, along with the keyboard design, it's not too compact. It also is not crazy apart from each other. It's pretty perfect. And we're talking about the keyboard. I have pretty big hands, so for me, typing usually is very hard with really compact keypads or just keyboards in general. But this is just perfectly laid out, and the layout of this, they just did an amazing job overall. We have the touch fingerprint sensor in the middle with the speakers all around it. Then the nice, beautiful touchpad accents. I think everything on this keyboard is just meant to be on here. But if you thought that was it, let me tell you, this isn't even the start of what this Lenovo Legion can really do. This laptop has an RTX 4070 along with an i9-13900H processor, 16 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, and a terabyte of SSD storage. Listen to me when I say this. Those type of specs, if you're not certain or sure about those specs, let me just say, having those type of specs under something that's so slim like this, these are better specs than a lot of PCs out there. And this is a 4-pound skinny as it can get laptop, and to have that under this type of computer is just absolutely unbelievable. And it just shows the type of engineering that Intel is doing behind the scenes with Lenovo. And they definitely killed it. And it just made me geek out just hearing about this type of stuff that is under here. And I was just getting more and more excited about everything that you can really do with this thing. So obviously this thing can perform for gaming. This thing can perform for productivity. It's pretty much your do-it-all laptop. And of course it's light, so you can take it on the go. You can take it anywhere you want to. And about the experience with this thing, it has a 15.6-inch display. It has full HD and 4K options, as well as it has a 165 hertz refresh rate screen. And I think that's also really important too when we're talking about gaming. And just gaming on this thing has been nothing but short from fun and just immersive and super exciting. Just being able to game in different environments. I mean, I went out to the library, I went to different places, I was outside, inside. I did this thing, I was using this pretty much everywhere, and it was just perfect for almost every setting. I don't think anybody thought that this thing was a gaming laptop under this hood, but again, this thing looks like a normal productivity laptop, and I think that's what makes it so cool, is that you wouldn't even know that a laptop like this is just a crazy beast realistically. Now the colors are super vibrant and the brightness goes up to 300 nits, which is super bright. I think it's very cool. And now one of the underrated things about this laptop that a lot of people are not talking about is the fact that the glare is amazing. You can turn this almost to 180 degrees and still see not only the screen without glare, but also the colors. I mean, the angling and colors on this laptop, you can turn this to about 180 degrees fully flat and still see the screen at almost the exact same color configuration as you would having it straight up, looking at the laptop just perfectly eye to eye, which to me just shows how amazing the screen and display is. And if, you know, whatever case you may be in, you may be sitting back, you may be leaning, you may be laying down, or just moving the laptop in whatever ways you want, you can see this anywhere. And I think having that flexibility and being able to use this laptop in so many different ways and utilize it in almost every way, I think is very important for a laptop, especially a laptop that you want to take on the go into different places with you. I played a lot of League of Legends Valorant on this thing, and I do want to say I am Diamond 1 on Valorant, so I'd like to think I'm pretty good on Valorant, and I was really killing it on this laptop. And I think it was honestly because the tear-free display on this laptop, and it just honestly blew me away that this laptop would have such a tear-free display. But it's because of its full HD and 165 hertz monitor and 165 hertz refresh rate. We talked about all of the power under this thing, and we talked about what it can really do. So that means it must have a great thermal cooling system, which it does. It has a vapor chamber along with dual fans that keep this thing at a very cool temperature. Now, I will say, using this thing, when you're gaming for extended periods, especially if you're charging it and it gets really, really hot, it doesn't normally get super hot like a lot of different other laptops, but it does still get hot. And one of the biggest problems is not actually the heat of the laptop, but it's actually the sound of the fans. When the fans are going off and the fans are really hot, it's really trying to cool this stuff down, because remember, it has crazy specs inside this thing under this hood, and it's really compact. And all of those different gears and all of those different integrated graphics and just those CPU and GPU intensive things that you're doing definitely make this thing get loud. You'll definitely hear the fans for sure when this thing gets loud. It doesn't get super loud to the point where it's just unbearable, but you do hear the fans, and that is something to keep in mind, especially if you're going to be in settings where it may be quiet, like school, or just different settings like in the workplace. You just really have to keep that in mind, because it will get noticeably louder. But I think that's just one of the things that you have to sacrifice when you have such a slim build along with just insane performance behind it. And about sacrifice, I do want to talk about the audio of this thing. It has front-firing Dolby Atmos speakers, and yes, they aren't the greatest in the world in terms of clarity. They do have a decent bass. Again, I don't think that these speakers sound the best that they could be, but I do also think that they had to sacrifice something. It already has a ton of different things under the hood, they tried to make this as compact as possible. I think adding a giant speaker under this would probably make this a lot thicker than it looks now, but I honestly don't even think it's a big problem, just because I think a lot of people who game or do productivity things on the go don't even really utilize the speaker much on laptops. I think they more utilize the headphone jack or the headphone port, so I don't even think that would be a big problem for most people, but I do want to keep that out there and for you guys to keep in mind that the audio is definitely not the greatest, especially the bass on this thing, but it does get the job done. Now, the battery life, it says on the specifications on the website that it actually lasts 6 to 7 hours. I honestly think it's closer to 6, just in terms of multitasking and playing different games. Now, I think it lasts pretty long. For the specs under this thing, to be honest, I didn't think it would get up to 3-4 hours, but it did. In using this, I got around 5 to 6 hours of use with just intense gaming sessions, intense editing sessions, and just multitasking it on many different levels. This thing definitely performed and kept up to what it really could do. And I was really surprised about how long this thing could last. If you're thinking that 6 and 7 hours is really not a lot for a laptop, I mean, if we're comparing it to other laptops that have these type of specs, this thing is definitely competitive, and I don't really see any other laptops doing it like that. Now, if this is something that you're taking to school or taking to work, you have to have this throughout the entire day. You're gonna need to bring that charger, because I don't think it'll last throughout that entire work day, especially with you leaving it here idle for quite a bit. The battery will drain out if you do leave it idle, just because it does have some crazy things under the hood again, and I'm gonna keep stating that because that's just insane that they managed to really fit and compact all of those type of specs under this small and skinny laptop. Now, it of course comes with Windows 11. You can downgrade to Windows 10 if you like. The only thing that I wish that Windows 11 had, and this may be a hot take, but I wish that you could put the taskbar on the top. They had this in Windows 10. They don't have it in Windows 11. Now, hear me out. Having the Windows taskbar at the top, to me, just feels like home. At the bottom, it just feels like it's really lonely down there. At the top, it just feels perfect. Now, if you have it on the sides, you're probably a psychopath. But if you have it at the top, I feel that. I'm with you. Okay, so overall, this laptop is definitely a beast, but I want to talk about some pros and cons to what you really would get with this, just to really sum it all up. So for one, it's super slim and very lightweight. You could be able to bring this almost anywhere because of its super compactability, and it's super skinny. Two, it has amazing gaming performance, and it is just an absolute beast for whatever you may be doing, and it's great for productivity. Three, it has a beautiful display with an amazing refresh rate. Four, it has outstanding connectivity options and a plethora of things you can use and connect with this laptop. So whatever you may be wanting to use this for, you can use it for all of that. And five, for a gaming laptop with these type of specs, the battery is honestly a plus, because this is something that you wouldn't get out of any other laptop with these type of specs in it. Now, as for the cons of this laptop, it does come at a premium price point. And two, this is a very limited edition and high-end configuration of this laptop Legion Slim 7. So trying to find a configuration this high-end is definitely going to be very limited. So that's another thing that I do want to add. I think that trying to find this exact configuration, it's going to be hard, and it'll probably come at an even steeper price point. So that's just also something to keep in mind. And three, the fan noise. I definitely want to say that the fan noise is not something that's super unbearable, but it is something that needs to be talked about, and it's something that you'll definitely notice once you're gaming or using this thing in intensive settings. But if you're a gamer who really values that portability ability and just something that's super powerful and just raw, I think this is a perfect laptop for you. Would I buy this laptop? 110%. I think this is definitely something that I'm going to be using every single day, in just terms of the specs, in terms of the portability. I'm always traveling, I'm always moving around. I think this is something that's perfect for me and perfect for what I need to do. But again, shout out to Lenovo and Intel for sending me out their Legion Slim 7. If you guys are interested in this laptop yourself, link will be in the description. And don't forget to leave a like, share it to a friend if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new. The videos have been doing absolutely insane, and the love and support on YouTube has been absolutely insane. I have been really focused on TikTok and other socials, but I've been more focused on YouTube recently, and I appreciate all the love I've been getting. Everybody who's new, you'll be seeing a lot more of me. You'll be seeing a lot more vlogs, tech videos, reviews, whatever it is, you'll be seeing a lot more. So I appreciate the love and support. I wouldn't be here without you guys. So I love you guys more than you think. And make sure to comment T7 in the comment section. That's going to start being our little thing. If you made it this far into the video, comment T7. And also comment what type of videos you guys want to see next from me. And I'll make sure to check that out. And that'll be pretty much it, though. I'm signing off. Appreciate you guys, and I'm out.